started. So this is the TSFL show. So basically, the show is going to be mainly about sports, mainly about the NFL, NBA, all these different things. What I see when it comes to sports, and we are going to have a lot of interesting discussions. So, this is something that I wanted to do for a while. Obviously, this is on my phone. I haven't been uploading because I don't have a computer at the moment, so I'm just gonna be doing my thing on here. I'll try to find and see if I can do reactions on my phone like I did in the old school days. But this is gonna be a live where I'm gonna be talking about sports, my favorite team, the Browns, and all these different topics. So hopefully you guys miss me, and let's get started. So when it comes to the NFL preseason, it has come as a conclusion. When it comes to the Cleveland Browns, my favorite team, they made their 53 men roster cuts as of today. So I got a lot of things to talk about when it comes to my team, the Cleveland Browns. Yes, Cleveland Browns. So let's get started with this. The things that I noticed during the preseason, I haven't watched the preseason a lot when it comes to this team, mainly because I don't really care. There's a lot of people that are trying to fight for roster spots. I did go to the Hall of Fame game. It was pretty cool. It was all right. But the main things that I have been noticing when it comes to the Cleveland Browns, they made a change at kicker. They got Dustin Hopkins from the Los Angeles Chargers to get rid of Cade York. And I have been ranting about Cade York all preseason long because ever since he got that situation last year where he made that field goal against the Panthers, he just disappeared. He just pulled a Houdini act and he just disappeared. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what has been going on with him. He's gone. And now Anthony Schwartz is gone. Not shocked by that at all because he has some raw potential. He just couldn't catch the ball as efficiently as we would like. And I think that's the reason why they got Elijah Moore. But let me talk about the Cleveland Browns this upcoming season because this is important. And yeah, so we paid Deshaun Watson $230 million. He gets suspended for the first 11 games of last year's season, and he played the remaining 6 games, and he was all right. He was rusty. I expected that. I gave him a pass because he's just coming back. He haven't played football for 2 years. The couple times I saw him in the preseason, he played okay. This is the main thing when it comes to Deshaun Watson, and Cleveland Browns fans, I'm pretty sure will agree with me. There is no excuses for Deshaun Watson this year. There is no excuses of why he cannot be the guy. There's no excuses why he cannot take us to the playoffs and have a decent run of the playoffs. I'm not expecting us to win the Super Bowl, even though that would be nice because we've been under misery for the last quarter century. But anyway, when it comes to the Cleveland Browns, they're in a loaded AFC. You got Aaron Rodgers, you got Joe Burrow, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Justin Herbert, you got all these elite quarterbacks in the AFC, and even in our own division, we got Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. So when it comes to the Cleveland Browns, they got everything that you can expect when it comes to this team. They got a quarterback, they got a running back, they got receivers, they got offensive line, they got a defensive line, they got linebackers, they got safeties, we got a new defensive coordinator. So my analysis is that when it comes to 2 people that is have the most pressure on this team, it's Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski. Let me start on Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, we took a chance on you. We gave you your money. We gave you $230 million fully guaranteed when nobody in the NFL got that money. I don't care who you are. The number one player that got the most pressure this upcoming season is Deshaun Watson. The reason why it's Deshaun Watson is because he is in a position where he has $230 million fully guaranteed. Nobody has even come close. The Browns was so desperate for a quarterback. They never pay for a quarterback ever. They decided to go and get Deshaun Watson. They decided to go and get him and pay him the money despite all those lawsuits. So Deshaun Watson, he was a debatable top 5 quarterback. A lot of people had him top 3, but a lot of things have changed since he's been in that position. And look at the roster that he has. Look at the receivers he has. Look at the running back that he has. Look at everything that he has in Cleveland. There is no excuse for Deshaun Watson not to do what he needs to do when it comes to taking his team to the playoffs and going deep into the playoffs. So that's the interesting thing. And then Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski has the most pressure out of any head coach because I like Kevin Stefanski. He went into the playoffs the first year that we had him. We went to the divisional round. So that was pretty good because the Browns never been in that situation before. They were a couple plays away from getting to the AFC Championship and facing the Buffalo Bills. Man, don't get me started. So the last couple years, a lot of people were giving Kevin Stefanski a pass because he had injury problems with Baker Mayfield. He's been dealing with this. He's been dealing with that. He's been dealing with this. Last year, he only had Jacoby Brissett. Even though one can argue he did have some questionable stuff last year when it came to the play calling. Despite all of that, when it comes to Kevin Stefanski, the expectations is high. The expectations is crucial this year because when it comes to Kevin Stefanski, he was coach of the year. He was the coach of the year in his first season. The Cleveland Browns, I felt like he got away and he was trying to be too cute instead of trying to run the ball down people's throat. When it comes to Kevin Stefanski, one of the things that he did pretty well when it came to his first year was running the ball, doing play action, doing all these different things, and that opened up the offense. And I felt like he tried to do a little bit more when it comes to Baker Mayfield, try to run the football, actually throw the football more, and that led to disaster. But when it comes to Kevin Stefanski, the expectations are high. The expectations is extremely high because when it comes to Kevin Stefanski, he needs to be able to deliver. He got to deliver because at the end of the day, we already got the quarterback. We already got the running back. We got everything that you could imagine when it comes to this team. The only thing we need is the results. And the results are important when it comes to this team. So, at the end of the day, when it comes to the Cleveland Browns, I've been looking at their schedule. They need to start off fast. I know that Cincinnati but Cincinnati and Cleveland, that should be a good game. Joe Burrow has been out with that injury from training camp, so it will be interesting to see what they will do, and it will be interesting to see how he will be when he comes back. Alright, so now that I'm done talking about my team, let's get some interesting news, something that has been in the forefront, that's been in the headlines, that has been in the media for the last day or so. The Dallas Cowboys. Man, you guys just continue to be in some controversy. So let's get started. So if you guys don't realize, Trey Lance got traded for a 4th-round pick from the San Francisco 49ers to the Dallas Cowboys. And I have a lot of interesting takes and a lot of different angles when it comes to this. So let's get started. So the Dallas Cowboys, they basically had a quiet preseason. They haven't really been doing a lot. A lot of players haven't been standing out. But there has been some controversy and headlines. So, a lot of people are talking about Dak Prescott. We've been seeing the videos online of his teammates basically trash talking him during the practice and him throwing interceptions and all that stuff. It's very, very interesting when it comes to this Trey Lance move because he was the 3rd overall pick a couple years ago. A lot of people would say that he is raw as a player. He hasn't really been seasoned when it came to college. So a lot of people, when they got Trey Lance, they were like, who's Trey Lance? Basically, when it comes to Trey Lance, I don't think he did bad, but he did get hurt a lot. So a lot of people were like, okay, when it comes to San Francisco, especially after Brock Purdy did what he did last year, San Francisco basically moved on. I thought that he was going to be the backup, but Sam Darnold ended up beating him for the backup job, and then he got traded. So I look at this two ways. I think that this is great for Trey Lance. Let me tell you why. Because Trey Lance, all he needs to do is just sit back and look at the season, learn from Dak Prescott, learn how to be a quarterback, learn how to be in the best position possible to make sure that this team has the biggest success. So I like this for Trey Lance because if you look at his career, he was supposed to be the savior for the San Francisco 49ers in his first couple years. A lot of people were like, oh, the 49ers are going to go to the Super Bowl. Oh, the 49ers are going to do this. I thought that those expectations were too high. A lot of people, and this is the one thing I hate. The one thing I hate about the NFL these days, a lot of people try to get the Patrick Mahomes of the world or the next Joe Burrow or the next this and the next that. Every player is different. But anyway, when it comes to Trey Lance, I think he's in the perfect situation because he can learn behind. There's no pressure in the mind at all. There's no pressure when it comes to the franchise. There's no pressure when it comes to him performing. There's no pressure when it comes to him doing what he needs to do as a player. So if I'm Trey Lance, sit back and learn. And then after this season, depending on how this season is, we're going to see how Dak Prescott play in the future. If Dak Prescott doesn't take this team to the NFC Championship game, this is where the controversy lies. Because Dak Prescott is up for a contract for the future. Dak Prescott is up for a contract when it comes to his contract. A lot of people are looking at this. A lot of people are looking at this as Dak Prescott's prove-it year. A lot of people are looking at Dak Prescott and saying, we paid you the money. We gave you all this stuff on the roster. We gave you everything, and now it's time for you to deliver the goods. When it comes to the Dallas Cowboys right now, Jerry Jones is in a position right now, and I'll get to Jerry Jones' comment in a little bit, but Jerry Jones is in a situation right now where he's saying, Dak Prescott, I'm tolerating you until I can replace you. Jerry Jones didn't want to pay Dak Prescott the money. He didn't. He didn't want to pay him the money because at the end of the day, when it comes to Dak right now, he's in a position right now where he's up for an extension. If I'm Jerry Jones, I am not paying Dak Prescott an extension because at the end of the day, you get paid for what you do. I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts got to a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow got to a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford got to a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes went to another Super Bowl. 4 quarterbacks since Dak Prescott got paid. And I don't want to hear these excuses about, oh, the roster is this and the roster. No. The roster is loaded. Dallas got one of the best defenses in the NFL. They got CeeDee Lamb. They got so many weapons. Their offense was top 5. And they haven't been to an NFC Championship game. And if I'm Dak Prescott, if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm like this. I'll tolerate you until I can replace you. I'll tolerate you until you do something for me. If you don't deliver the goods, if you don't deliver when you're supposed to, Trey Lance might be an option. We nearly saw that with Cooper Rush last year. When it came to Cooper Rush last year, it was one of those situations where it was one of those things where Cooper Rush did pretty good. He was winning games. He was doing really, really good. Kept the team afloat. And I'm not saying Cooper Rush is the answer. But when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys at this moment in time, they're looking at a situation right now where they're looking at Dak Prescott, and we're saying we can move on without Dak Prescott. We can have a potential backup plan in case Dak Prescott is not the guy moving forward. That is the biggest thing of controversy when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys at this current moment in time. Because a lot of Dallas fans are saying, well, Dak Prescott's not worth the contract. Dak Prescott's not worth all this trouble for. He's been declining ever since he got that contract. So that's another form of controversy. But the biggest controversy of all is Mr. Jerry Jones. He cannot stay out of the media. He cannot stay out of controversy. He cannot stay out of the headlines. When it comes to Jerry Jones, man, I would not want to work for him, because it seemed like when it comes to him, it is a dysfunctional mess of a franchise when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Let me explain why. Jerry Jones just admitted on national television that he would have drafted Jalen Hurts. And if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm sitting back like this and I'm like, the disrespect that this man has been showing me has been absolutely ridiculous. The disrespect that this man has been giving me time and time and time again. I do not understand why Jerry Jones, out of all reasons, but this is Jerry Jones we're talking about, why he would say that he would take Jalen Hurts, a guy that's a rival in your division. Could you even imagine? That's like your spouse saying, and this is a guy that you hate. This is a guy that's a rival of you. I would have chosen this guy if this guy would have if this guy was available. Huh? When it comes to Jalen Hurts, look, don't get me wrong. He's a great quarterback. Everybody would have gotten him. And I had a feeling that he was going to be a great quarterback when it came to college. I didn't know that he was going to be at this level, but I knew that he was decent and he was going to make an NFL team. But for Jerry Jones to spew out of his mouth that he would have gotten Jalen Hurts, a guy that got to the Super Bowl, a guy that got past where Dak Prescott has gotten, a guy that got a nice contract. If I'm Dak Prescott, I'm looking at Jerry Jones sideways and I'm like, the disrespect that you've been showing me, why would I even want to resign with this team? I could go to another team and do something and get them to the playoffs and leave you high and dry. Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott's relationship for the last couple years has been toxic, has been just absolutely, it's been bitter. It hasn't been the relationship that you would expect an owner and a player would have when it comes to the starting quarterback, when it comes to America's team, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, when it comes to Jerry Jones. The last couple years with Dak Prescott, he has been disrespectful towards Dak Prescott. And when he got that contract extension, Dak Prescott was saying, actually Jerry Jones said, I overpaid for you. I overpaid for you. Are we saying that about Patrick Mahomes? Are we saying about that with Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow coming up? All these players, you don't hear those owners talking about, oh, I overpaid for you. But Jerry Jones said it to Dak Prescott. So when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, it's a hornet's nest. Because if Dak Prescott delivers and wins the Super Bowl or take them to the NFC Championship game, all is well in Dallas. But what if it goes wrong? What if Dak Prescott gets eliminated in the playoffs early again? What if they get a first-round exit? What will happen then? Mike McCarthy's head is on the swivel. And the biggest thing is that when it comes to the biggest thing of controversy, when it comes to Gerald Wayne Jones Jr., is this. When it comes to Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones didn't tell anything to Dak Prescott about him wanting to get Trey Lance. You think that the Kansas City Chiefs would have gotten Trey Lance? What about the Buffalo Bills? The Chargers? The Ravens? Any team that got an elite starting quarterback, do you think that they would have gotten a Trey Lance that was the third pick a couple years ago? The answer would be no. Because at the end of the day, Trey Lance, he doesn't help this team get to any closer to a Super Bowl this year. He doesn't help them get to the promised land. This is a future project. So Dak Prescott, in his mind, is like, either it's going to go one or two ways. We saw this in Green Bay. Either Dak Prescott's going to improve his game, or it's going to destroy his confidence. We see this all the time when it comes to quarterback. Quarterbacks is the one position in the league where you gotta be selfish. You gotta be the one. You gotta be able to defend your job. You gotta be able to defend your job when it comes to quarterback positions, because there's only one. There's no sharing the quarterback position. So when it comes to Dak Prescott's ego, when it comes to his confidence, when it comes to his swagger, when it comes to the locker room, when it comes to his leadership, it goes all hand in hand. When it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, this is the biggest season in their in the last 25 years, because we're going to see if Dak Prescott can deliver the goods, if he can deliver in the biggest of moments, if he can deliver when it matters the most. So it's going to be very, very interesting when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and what they do this season. So last topic before I get on out of here. This is a short episode. In the future, when it comes to these, I'm going to have some notes and everything so I can have some stats to back up, because soon the games are going to start, and I'm going to be breaking down week to week analysis of the game. So let's get started. My team, speaking of this weekend, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Yes, I am an Ohio State fan. Yes, I was very, very devastated about that Georgia game last year, and the expectations are high when it comes to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Let me explain why. The Ohio State Buckeyes, one of the best teams in college football, the team that has been the standard of the Big Ten, a team that has been to a national championship in 2020, went to a couple playoff appearances, and has been falling short of getting to winning a national championship. Obviously, for the past couple years, I haven't been happy when it comes to Ohio State. Here's the reason why. That team up north beat us back-to-back years, and that leaves it makes me sick as an Ohio State fan for us to lose to Michigan back-to-back years, because in my time as an Ohio State fan, I've never dealt with Michigan beating us. I never dealt with Michigan beating us at back-to-back years. And then they're talking about, oh, Michigan is a contender to go to win the national championship, and they are. They are. But man, when it comes to Ohio State, it hurts a lot more because we got the recruiting. We got all these recruits, 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits, draft picks going all over the place, and we don't get the national championship. Georgia is back-to-back national champions. Alabama has been a dynasty ever since 2009 when they beat Texas during that national championship game when Colt McCoy got hurt. Yes, I know my facts when it comes to college football. The point of the matter is that when it comes to Ohio State, Ryan Day, your seat is starting to get hot. And let me explain why. Because when it comes to a lot of people, they're probably like, well, why are you talking about, Ohio State not winning national championship? They won 10 games and they've been in the college football playoffs. Man, that's not good enough no more. It's not good enough. When it comes to Ohio State, this is the thing that we need. National championships. What's the biggest thing about Ohio State? The narrative when it comes to Ohio State. They'll win 10 games. They'll be in the playoff discussion, but they won't win the national championship. That's the biggest thing when it comes to Ohio State that people need to realize. When it comes to Ryan Day, your time is coming, because at the end of the day, it's bad enough that we lost against Michigan. It's bad enough that we fell short against them. Last year, we had a chance to win the national championship. That game against Georgia, we had a chance to win that game. We had a chance to solidify our legacy of winning another national championship. When it comes to Ohio State, y'all need to get it done. You guys got everything that you guys need to win a national championship. You guys got everything in the book. You guys got everything to win a national championship. There is no more excuses when it comes to Ryan Day. When it comes to Ohio State, this upcoming season, this is the biggest pressure that Ohio State has. This is the biggest that challenge that they're going to face. When it comes to Ohio State, they need to bring it. When it comes to Ohio State this year, Ryan Day, you're on the clock. I'm not saying he's going to get fired in the end of the season, but his seat is going to start getting boiled. Because when it comes to every great Ohio State coach, the Jim Trussels of the world, the Urban Meyers, they won national championships. Yes, Ryan Day can recruit. Yes, Ryan Day brings great players. Yes, Ryan Day has players that goes to the NFL. That's not the problem. The problem is that Ohio State, they don't deliver in the biggest of moments. So now when it comes to Ohio State, the expectations is this. Look, Kyle McCord has been named the starter of the game against Indiana. It should be interesting during that game what will happen, because at the end of the day, the only concerns that I have for Ohio State is this. It's the quarterback and the defense. I don't know what in the heck happened to that defense last year. They were awful the last 2 games. Absolutely awful. I hope that when it comes to Ohio State, they are able to win. They're able to do some great things this season, because at the end of the day, when it comes to Ryan Day, there's no more excuses. Ohio State needs to win a national championship this year, because if they don't, there's going to be questions around Ohio State of they can't get it done. They can't win in the biggest moments. They can't win when it comes to the moments that count. Ohio State has the biggest pressure of any college football team this year, and it's not even close. So it's going to be interesting. Now, the next couple of games is going to tell me a lot, because when it comes to this QB battle, it's going to be one of 2 things. It's going to be one of those things where Devin Brown will either be the quarterback, Kyle McCord will be the quarterback. I don't want to be in a situation where we have 2 quarterbacks and they have a QB battle. Notre Dame, this past game, impressed me, because they have a quarterback that can fling that football. Last year, they struggled because they don't got a quarterback that can fling the football like that. So when it comes to the Ohio State Buckeyes, they need to be ready for that game. Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr., the best wide receiver in the country, he should be able to do some good things, because when it comes to those 2, Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr., I think they played together in high school. So you got that. You got a running back. You got wide receivers. You got a tight end. You got an offensive line. You got a defensive line. You got corners. You guys got everything that you guys could need. Ohio State needs to deliver in the biggest moments this year. So the expectations is huge. And, we got to do what we need to do this season. So, overall, man, thank you guys for this podcast. It's kind of like a podcast or a show. I want to be able to do this more, and I'm going to have clips and everything. I don't do this for the views or anything. I don't care about that. I just want us to have fun on this channel, and I'm going to try to get a computer. I'm going to try to do all these different things, and it's going to be fun. The NFL season's coming up. College football kicked off this past season, so it should be interesting. So I'll see you guys soon. I don't know. I'll try to create a schedule, or maybe whenever I feel like it, I'll go live. So thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Peace.